We'll keep searching through the darkest day for every soul that's lost or gone. We'll fight until the break of dawn. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found you. For all the lost, both the near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. Through the nights and through the pain, we will say your name again. Every step we take is true as we continue to search for you. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until there is justice for all. For all the lost, both the near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. We will continue to pray until you're home to stay.
Hello, everybody. Let me see. I was trying to get ready for this, but I didn't do a very good job of getting ready today. So give me just a second. Let's go with this one. Maybe. All right. How's everybody doing today? Hello, Kelly. Good evening, Melissa and mods and chat. Hello. So for some reason, my Streamlabs is not working. That's what the hashtag hello is for. So I gotta try to figure that out at some point. Hello, everyone. Quickly eating. Ooh, what you eating, Murray? Good to see everybody. Kelly, enjoy. I just had PBJ and soup. What kind of soup goes with peanut butter and jelly? I need to know what kind of soup you had with your peanut butter and jelly. Because the only thing I can think that would go good with peanut butter and jelly sandwich would be chili. Hey, Mariska, how are you, dear? Hope everybody's well. Hello, Kimberly Hayden. How are you? So, where we left off yesterday, I have a poll going on whether or not yesterday's live changed your mind at all on anything. And it was, let's see, what is the poll? Maybe I'll find it. Let's see. So 30% of you so far have said yes, some. 40% have said not at all. 20% said at this point, I don't know anymore. And 10% said yes, a lot. So I'll leave that up for a little bit. And we will check it later. Chicken noodle. I don't know that I would go that route. Was it good together? Like I don't know if chicken noodle would be good with peanut butter and jelly. It might be though. Marie Antoinette says hot turkeys and poutine for me. What is a hot turkey? I have never had a poutine. Ever. I've heard of them. I've just never had one. But I do like turkey. Turkey sandwich sounds really good right now. Why y'all gotta talk about food for? Anyway, hope everybody's doing good. So this is going to be a multi-part thing because there's no way we're doing all this in 1 or 2 parts. So stick with me because we're going to do several parts. And after we do all of Richard Allen's, we're going to look at some of the letters that were sent about his mistreatment and see how that compares with um, anything we already know or anything that's said here in his appeal. And then what I want to do, and it'll take me some time to do it, but I want to take what the defense said and put it side by side with what the state's response to it was so we can see it really well. Ooh, I'm jealous. I don't know about poutine though. I don't know if I'd like it because there's very few foods like that can be put together and I'll still eat it. I'm one of the people I don't like my food touching. I don't like my food mixed. Hey Melissa, mods chat March 30th today and pick 2 moved to May 4th. Is that what they did? All right. Thank you, Tambourine. Welcome in. Hi, Marianne. Hope you're good, babe. It was what I had. Well, I mean, I've had those days. Yummy stuff. Sorry you are missing out. Isn't it like, so correct me if I'm wrong, because I might actually be wrong. Isn't poutine like French fries and gravy and vegetables and all that put together? Or am I thinking of something different? Hey, Lynn, welcome in, babe. I don't know either. Hi, Melissa in chat. I've just never had it. I'm one of those people, though, I don't like to try new food either. Just exhausted. I'm sorry, dear. Hopefully you can get some rest this evening. Tambourine says, my nanny loved the hot turkey. Lots of turkey and 2 pieces of white bread and lots of gravy. That sounds really good. Poutine, again, I've never really had it. It's amazing. Home fries, turkey, gravy, and cheese curds. Now that I might actually like. Might have to find me a place that sells poutine if that's what it is, because that I would probably eat. No, fries, gravy, and cheese curds. See, I like cheese curds. I'm not real big on fries, but if I had gravy and cheese curds to go with it, I'd probably eat it. Oh my gosh, my granddaughter will not allow her food to touch. She has 3 and 4 way plates. Dude, I don't know. I gotta find this picture at some point. I don't mind it necessarily touching. I just don't like it mixed together. But there was this lady, and it was on some kind of reel. I think it was I don't know if it was a Facebook reel. I think it was a Facebook reel because I don't get on TikTok very much. But anyway, there was this woman and this, the flat griddle pans like that you used to get all the time. They had the handle on it. Well, hers was like that. It was the flat that's like, half an inch or an inch tall or whatever. But it was cut into 3 different sections. There was kind of a bigger rectangle, and then there were 2 little squares on the other side. And she was using it to make breakfast. And she had like her muffins in the 2 little sides, and she had her eggs in the other one. I'm like, I need that pan. That I don't say very often, but I needed that pan. When I find it, I will buy it because that is something I would cook with. No veggies in poutine unless you go to some fancy poutineery. Okay, well, yeah, like I said, I ain't never had it. But fries with cheese curds, oh my gosh, yes, please, cheese curds, I love them. So I would probably eat it. My brother never allowed his food to touch on his plate. We found out later about our history with OCD, and it makes sense. My son, his food cannot touch at all, like at all, or he'll eat like around it, but he will not eat the part that touched. And I used to tell him it goes to the same place. And I know I don't like my food mixed together. I know, take my own advice here, but I used to laugh at him and tell him that he just wouldn't do it. Well, he's autistic, and I found out a lot of autistic people don't like their food to touch either. So then, yes, I got those flat pan mine too. Grilled cheese mini pans. Ooh, that sounds good. I had grilled cheese last night. After I got off the live, I was going to set up the live for today, but instead I had to deal with something in my family, and so I forgot. So I had to set it up today. But yeah, grilled cheese last night. That was good. And I made two. I made one where you put butter on the bread, and then I forget where I keep seeing it, but people saying instead of butter, use mayonnaise, a real thin layer like you would butter, but use mayonnaise. Everybody says it makes a big difference in taste. I honestly could not tell a big difference in the taste. It worked, but I couldn't tell a big difference in the taste. Yeah, my husband always says, "Why so fussy? It's all going down the same hole." My daughter won't eat anything that touches. I mean, hey, I I will eat it if it touches, but I will not eat it if it's mixed together. Unless it's mashed potatoes with mac and cheese, or if it's mashed potatoes and corn. Those I'll eat mixed together. I'm not eating anything that says curds. I used to love cottage cheese, right? And mom would always get the small curd cottage cheese. I never understood until a couple years ago. Don't judge me. What cottage cheese? Like, I knew, like, in my head it was a dairy product. What I didn't know is it's curdled milk. I've not been able to eat cottage cheese since then. It's the best cheese ever, though. Which one? What's the best cheese? What, cheese curds? Mozzarella cheese? I love mozzarella cheese. Will not touch cream corn. Ew. Ew, no. Cream corn is disgusting. Now, people make it's like a corn mush or something like that, corn casserole. That's made with cream corn. And I'll eat that. But just put cream corn on my plate. It ain't, yeah, I ain't touching that shit. No, thank you. Okay. So here we're 12 minutes in. Okay. So we're going to continue reading. So I did not go any further than what we read last night, which like still upsets me because like every right this man had, the state said, or the prison said, bet, and violated it, in my opinion. Just saying. I don't know that he can appeal for that, but he can sue for it. Maybe they ought to look into doing that. I don't know. So we're going to continue going over Richard Allen's appeal. This is the man that was convicted of killing the two girls on screen, Abby and Libby. Abby was 13 and Libby was 14. They were unalived on February 13th. And so for years, there was basically no movement. There were two different sketches set out of the person, lots of theories, and he was convicted, was sentenced to 130 years. Yesterday we talked about how Dr. Walla destroyed her notes and was on social media commenting, "Let's violate HIPAA." Guess she's never heard of that. And then we learned, let's see. What else? There was something else yesterday that stuck out to me. And, we learned that he was hitting his head on his cell door, got coon eyes, and wasn't checked on. We learned that his client attorney privilege was violated by a third person in the room. So today, I don't know what's on the agenda because I didn't read any further than what I read yesterday. So we're going to read this. Oh, yes, eating poo-poo. Yeah, he was, must have thought it was good because he was pulling it straight out of his booty hole and eating it and rubbing it in his food and on his cell walls and on himself and rolling in it. Yup. Anyway. back to the matter at hand before I throw up. I'm in a rare form today. I'm in a good mood. Everybody that knows me knows that's rare. Hello, Olive. How are you? Welcome in, Cheryl. I haven't got very far because I've been saying hello and chatting. So thank God I'm done eating. Thanks kindly for the reminder. I'm sorry. You can thank Mariska. She's the one that brought it up. Kimberly says, how old were the girls? So Abby was 13 and Libby was 14. And Libby's dream was to grow up and solve crimes. And thanks to her quick mind and her quick wit, she had the foresight to know that she was in danger and grabbed her phone and hit record, which is where we got the bridge guy video. Let me see here real quick. Hold on. I want to show something real quick, but I have to find. Yes, this. Hold on. I want to take sound off. Hold on. Pause. There we go. Okay. Before we go over any documents, let me stop screen there. We're going to share the screen, share the window. No, not that one. Chrome tab, maybe. Yes, that's what I want to share. Okay, so this was Sunny from It's a Criming Shame, and she released the video. So I'm going to mute myself, and we're going to play Bridge Guy video for those who have not seen it. We're going to play it out. Give me just a second here, guys. Okay. I'm going to take me off the screen. And we're going to make this bigger. Okay. So let's watch this real quick. It's about 3 minutes. I'm not sure if she was talking in that. So we'll play it until she starts talking or whatever. All right, here we go. And this is where Libby was telling Abby there's nowhere to go. So let me play it with sound and see what we see or hear then. Let's see. I have to remove that. Hold on. Okay, so this time I'm going to play it with sound, see what we hear, if anything.
See, this is the path that we go down.
Did you guys just hear that? If not, turn your volume up and maybe rewatch this later with headphones. I will drop the link in chat to this video. And maybe you need to watch it with headphones. But you can hear her say, it's very light, but you can hear her say, is that a gun?
Path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
So that right there is, of course, you got Libby filming, and you've got Abby right behind her. That is where we got the bridge guy. Now, I've been to this, and I had heard how kind of treacherous these tracks were. When I went to Delphi, I really realized how treacherous these tracks really are. How fast he could have made up that little bit of distance, maybe what, 10 railroad ties, it wouldn't have taken him any time to catch up to the girls. So let's remove that now that we've seen. Does anybody want to see it again? Let me go back up here and chat. Hold on, where did there? Okay. He was probably trying to make himself so sick doing that. I think they were hoping he would take himself out, is what I'm thinking. Mariska posts great recipes, right? Yes, they were young. Very young. Tambourine, I need to post on tostadas. Ooh, that sounds good. I miss my Mexican cooking. I always get Mexican cooking in the summer because of Foreign Help. And they always try to suck up, and they always give me food. And the quickest way to my heart is to feed me, even though I still don't like them. I hated this video, knowing what was ahead for these girls. Yes, yes. Now, we know what happened. Yes. Very sad. Trying to unalive himself. Funny, he didn't get E. coli. Right? I thought of that. Or, what is it? Hepatitis A. I wondered about that as well. Hello, Kimberly Hank. Good to see you. Was messing with the fire. Oh, I'm a firebug. So that is the link to this video. Did she the gun on the ground? No, he had the gun. Olivia, Olive Hall. He had the gun. Bridge guy did. This is awful. Kids can't go for a plain old walk anywhere without possible trouble, in my opinion. Yes, I heard her say it. Okay, so here's what bugged me, Lynn. It was a nice day. These lovely young ladies could have sat inside, been watching TV, eating junk food, just lounging, right? Instead, they wanted to go to what they thought was a safe local park that had trails and go for a walk and be out in nature and get fresh air and get exercise. And it is so sad that that man in this video decided to use that to take their lives. So sad. It just, the girls didn't do anything wrong at all. Right? I only saw the beginning days of the case, and I still have the recording in my mind that says over the hill, down the hill. It haunts me. I think you can see a gun on the ground where they were. I can replay it if you guys want. But did she is it's really light. I'd have to listen to it with headphones. I heard her say, "Is that a gun?" And I heard her say, "There's no path here. We have to go down." And then you hear him say, "Guys," and then he'll say, "Down the hill." There is no such thing as safe for kids anymore. No, there's not. And that is sad. Very sad. The bridge would scare me. I don't like heights. It's pretty high. They should have cameras in those areas for safety of vulnerable ones. You would think, but it's literally like, if you've ever been to that park, I've got pictures from when I went to Delphi in my community post. One is of me and Aspen. I think I have one of me and Lawyer Lee. And then I have some from the walk that we took. But there's really no way to have cameras unless they would have trail cams, and they would fill up so fast. But you would hope that there would be cameras like at the entrances, but I didn't see anything. Were the girls sisters or friends? They were best friends. They were like sisters, but they were best friends. It is heart-wrenching. So let's play this out. There's 3 minutes. Let me go back here a little bit, and we'll play it out and see what you guys. I don't know if Sunny talks or not, but it's 3 minutes. Let's play this out.
Hi. See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Hi.
Okay, so it looks like Sunny just played it multiple times. So we answered that. Okay. Oh my God, my heart is broken for both families. Yes, my heart really went out to both families from the get-go. And then, at that point, I hadn't met them. And when I went to Delphi and I actually met the families, it just broke my heart even more, if that makes sense. Because you could clearly see the pain that they were going through, but they were trying to be strong. And like I said, they would bring food and, candy and things like that. McDonald's, there were many days they brought us Big Macs and chicken nuggets and breakfast sandwiches from McDonald's, chili. Halloween, they brought candy for us. And it wasn't just the people there, right? Like they put all of our chairs were lined up on the handicap ramp, right? And so everybody that was there got candy. And then they went down the line and they dropped candy, like a handful of candy. And I don't know, it was probably like 45 chairs going down through there. It was so sweet of them. And it broke my heart because I knew what they were like at that time. I didn't know personally because I still had my child. So I didn't necessarily know personally what they were going through, but I still felt bad for them, right? You could see the pain and the hurt in their eyes, and that continued through the trial. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let's see. I don't know. I hear, should we run? Maybe. Yes, that's true. Or monitored by live surveillance on poles along the track, maybe with security hired, especially after this situation. You would have thought, but I didn't see anything when I was there, and I was there during the trial, so they would have had plenty of time to do that if they were going to. Little Black Bear, welcome in. Hi, Melissa. Miss Bell said hello. I'm not familiar with this case. What is it about and who? Okay, Miss Bell, hello. So this case is about these two beautiful little girls right here, Abby and Libby. Abby was 13, Libby was 14, and on February 13th, 2017, they decided to go for a walk on a local trail. Just they were out of school that day and it was unseasonably warm. So they went for a walk. And Richard Allen has been convicted of their unaliving and was sentenced to 130 years in prison. The video we just watched, that is the video that Libby had the foresight to record on her phone of a guy that was following them. He was come to known as Bridge Guy, and that's what everybody referred to him as. There were 2 different sketches made from witnesses, and the video was eventually released. All you got to do if you want to Google it later and get really caught up is Google Delphi murders. That's all you have to Google. DELPHI. But it's a very sad case. These 2 little girls were awesome. Libby wanted to solve crimes, and sadly, it's her own murder that she solved, unfortunately. Oh my God, sounds like he said, "Hi, guys," down the hill. He did. He said, "Guys," and they said something back to him, and then he said, "Down the hill." Yeah, he is telling them where to go. Yes. Oh, also, so he was talked to like 3 days after the girls were found, and he gave a statement and said he was on the trails that day, and somebody, I don't know who, marked his file as cleared, and there was a search warrant and all that. But 5.5 years, I think it was, almost 6 years later, they found that file and realized it had been marked cleared, even though he wasn't cleared. And they went back out to talk to him, and then he was eventually charged and convicted of their unaliving. And his trial at this point, I don't even know what to say. Bacon and eggers like Harley likes. Yes. Yes. Bacon and egg and sausage biscuits and sausage McMuffins. Yes. It was really sweet of them. I mean, they didn't have to, but it was really sweet. How far is it down from the railroad bridge? Well, this was the railroad bridge. They were walking the railroad bridge. So if you mean the unaliving, not far at all. I think they said I forget how far. I think it was a quarter of a mile or something like that, but it was not very far at all. 2 beautiful little ones. So sad. Yes, it is. Oh, gotcha. Hit the like button. Yes, thank you. So the man is Richard Allen for sure. That's what they're saying. Now, again, when this happened, I'd followed it, and I thought by the time it got to trial, by the time the trial was over, I was fully convinced Richard Allen was the guy. He did this. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, and nobody could change my mind. After yesterday's live, I'm not on the fence yet, but I'm touching it. I'm touching it with my big finger, but not quite on the fence yet. I'm still leaning towards guilty, but I think there were some serious errors made. So that was the bridge guy who got sentenced, this Allen guy. Yes. So Richard Allen is who they decided was bridge guy after he had told initially, he had said that he was on the trails from 1 to 3. He then changed that. He said he could have been wearing a blue Carhartt and jeans. Basically, he put himself at the abduction site, and they deemed him, Richard Allen, as bridge guy, and then went to trial. That is the $1 million question. Yeah, right? Because I'm telling you, I was one of those that was completely convinced that he was bridge guy and he's the one that did this. And like I said, after last night's live and reading through what we read through, I'm not so positive anymore. Welcome in, Amy. Good to see you. Tim says, my goodness, how did he get them there fast enough for no one to see on the track? Okay, so that railroad track is no longer used anymore. And this is a very wooded area. I said this, when I first started following the case. How did he get them there? How did nobody hear them scream? It wasn't until I visited the site for myself that I understood. It's really hard to say, but it's removed from everything, right? It's kind of in the middle of nothing. I mean, there's a store not too far from it, and there's a couple houses across the road, but there really is, for the most part, nothing out there except for these walking trails. Yeah, it was definitely, I thought when this case first came out, I thought that it was a crime of opportunity. But according to the state, he was laying in wait for the girls. I don't know that I believe that. I think it was he had a fantasy and he's seen 2 little girls and he took advantage of that, in my opinion. Should have asked Melissa how deep from the bridge to the top. It was tall. Give me a second and I can tell you exactly. How tall is Monon High Bridge? 63 feet. So it's 63 foot from the bottom. Hi, Amy. I don't know if I said hello to you yet or not. Hello. Okay. So let's continue with what is the appeal. This is Richard Allen's appeal. This is what his attorneys have filed on his behalf. So we left off here last night where Dr. Walla listened to podcasts about Allen 3 hours a day while she was commuting to work. Before Allen was arrested, she researched a suspect on the Indiana Department of Corrections database. And after she treated Allen, she posted on social media about the case. Can we say HIPAA violation? Has she never heard of HIPAA? So when it comes to number 3, it was witnesses and trial. And beginning October 17th, the state tried Allen on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of felony murder. The difference between the two: regular murder is he killed him. Felony murder, he kidnapped them to kill them. So the kidnapping is what made it felony murder, if I understand the law correctly. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I might have that wrong, but that's how I understood it. During the 25-day trial, the state built its case against Allen on 7 points. So we are going to go over those now. Before we go over those, where is my stupid mouse? Shoot. We're on page 31. Okay. So let's go over the real quick again for those that weren't here yesterday. Hopefully you guys go back and watch that live from yesterday. But these are his appellate issues. Whether or not the search of Allen's home was unconstitutional and the resulting evidence inadmissible because law enforcement omitted or altered key facts in the warrant application. 2, whether statements Allen made while gravely disabled during unprecedented pretrial solitary confinement were involuntary, the product of unconstitutional detention and inadmissible. And 3, whether the trial court denied Allen his right to a fair trial, to present a complete defense, to explain the scene, and impeach the investigation. So let me read for those that weren't here yesterday, or basically just as a recap before we go and talk about that. On February 14th, 2017, 14-year-old Libby German and 13-year-old Abby Williams were found dead in the woods. 2 days later, Allen, like many others, came forward and reported that he had been on the trail that day and saw 3 girls. Because law enforcement wanted to know whether or not he had seen any possible suspects, he was interviewed in a parking lot. After the interview, the lead was marked cleared and the report was misfiled. Allen then returned to his job, family, and home in the small Delphi community. For the next 5 years, he did not sell his car, destroy his clothes, dispose of his gun, or relocate, but continued his normal routine. No witnesses identified Allen as the bridge guy. When the report was rediscovered in September of 2022, law enforcement insisted Allen was bridge guy without a single eyewitness. Over the next several years, the state built a case against Allen. Okay, you are caught up. So let's go to, can I type it in? Yes, I can. Woo! All right, that saved me a lot of time. I feel like he probably did it, but possibly had mistakes made in trial. I agree. I can get behind that. Yes. I think he did it, but I think there were some fatal errors at trial. Him putting himself there that day reminds me of Daniel Martel. Good point. Go out front to look innocent, in my opinion. Possibly, yes. Yes. So, the witnesses at trial beginning October 7th. Oh, wait, we already read that. So 3A was what the jury heard. 1, bridge guy. The jury saw the video of bridge guy, which I just played. That is what the jury saw on Libby's phone. They also heard from 2 of the 4 girls, Blair and Carbaugh, after seeing the video. And after seeing the video, the witnesses believe they saw bridge guy on February 13th, 2017. Now, I think it was Carbaugh. She said she seen a guy that was muddy and bloody on 300 North. However, she said he was wearing a tan jacket. I think we'll get to that again here. It wasn't until after she seen the picture of bridge guy that she then changed it to a blue jacket. Blair thought she saw him on the platform of the bridge. She described the man as white, possibly in his 20s or 30s. Keep in mind, when this crime happened, Richard Allen was in his 40s, with brown, poofy hair and a youthful or boyish appearance. She also believes that she saw Abby Williams and Libby German approaching the bridge while the man was still on it. Blair's Fitbit data placed her near the bridge at the time of Libby German's video. Although Carbaugh in 2017 reported seeing a muddy man in a tan coat around about 4 p.m. walking west on 300 North towards town, by trial she claimed the man was muddy and bloody and wearing a blue jacket. Also, surveillance video captured a car like Allen's driving down 300 North at 1:27. The prosecutor argued that this was Allen shortly before he parked and walked onto the trail, and that Carbaugh saw Allen walking back to his car after committing the murders. At trial, no eyewitnesses identified Allen as bridge guy. The prosecutor, however, told the jury that Allen must be bridge guy because every witness is adamant the person they saw was bridge guy. There's no doubt in their mind. Blair, according to the prosecutor, must have seen Allen right before the girls, because Allen told us he went onto the Monon High Bridge and out to the first platform. So what the platforms are on this train trestle, there's little areas like jet outs, like pull off areas for, if it were a car. Those are the platforms, which is exactly what Betsy Blair told you. Trooper Harshman, who had listened to Allen's jail calls, believed it was Allen's voice on the video. I think that would be a hard distinction to make. Unless you are an expert in voice analysis. And I'm sorry, if you're an expert in voice analysis, you're probably not working for the Indiana State Police. Maybe though. But I don't think it would say trooper. Anyway, that's besides the point. I think unless you are an expert at voice analysis, it would be hard to say that's definitely Alan on the phone call. So let me hit chat for a minute because I see there's quite a few. In my opinion, how much activity was searching for under bridge for DNA? It was pretty well searched, that area, but you're talking, this is the same okay, the police department that searched that area is the same police department that decided that the sticks that were laid over the girls after their death had no evidentiary value and left them there and had to later come back and pick them up because they did about 2 weeks afterwards. Pretty brutal way to unalive 2 children for being the first time type thing. Yeah, pretty daring. I agree. Because if like this is your first time doing something like that, why 2? You would take out the older lady that was on the trail, right? Shove her off or something. I don't know. Seems very brutal and very ballsy for a first crime to me. I agree. Sorry, I behind in chat. Give me just a second. Hey, just a fax man. Welcome in, babe. Hi, Mel. Been cleaning up the kitchen, but been listening. Just wanted to say hi. Hey, and hi, everybody. Well, thank you for listening. Looks like there's 19 people in here listening right now. So it was his own therapist that put info on the news. Yep. Now, when he would meet with this psychologist, who is Dr. Walla, and when he would meet with his attorney, Baldwin and Rossi, there was jail staff there. There was videotaping these interactions. That voids and violates attorney-client privilege and doctor-patient privilege. Ticks me off that was done. Attorney-client privilege overrides if he told therapists he was guilty. Bingo! That's what we talked about last night. That really ticked me off. If you haven't seen last night's, go back and watch it because it was unbiased, but it was actually a pretty decent live. Or knew of the fantasies, yes. And then she destroyed her notes. After she talked to him, she destroyed her notes. Not supposed to be doing that. But to law enforcement, not right to news. Correct. Weird and not okay. No, it's not. They violated his rights. They violated HIPAA in the case of the doctor. Yeah. In my opinion, there was no different DNA besides the girls where it happened. Correct. Not correct. There was an unknown male DNA. So when the girls were found, I believe it was Abby. Maybe not. Maybe it was Libby. Either way, one of the girls had hair wrapped around her fingers, like entangled in her fingers. And that was determined to be unknown male DNA. Ask me when the DNA was ran. Ask me, please ask me. You want to know? It was ran during trial because no need to run the hair for DNA before you go to trial. It was ran during trial. Wondering, could you play the short video again? Yeah, give me just a second. Let me catch up in chat and then I will play it one more time. His attorney could ask for a voice analysis expert. Not sure if the state or county would pay for it. They could have, but they didn't. In my opinion, they need to test. They need new tests for tests to be sure they got the right person. I agree. I can agree. Right. Unless he rehearsed the fantasy over and over in his mind for years and finally got the opportunity and on impulse. but he could have done before, who knows? Exactly. Now, he's never been arrested. He's never been charged with a crime. That's something that his attorneys harped on. So he's never been caught, if that's true. So if Richard Allen's seen 3 girls, where is she? So there was actually 4 girls, Hayden. It wasn't 3. For some reason, he said 3, but it was actually a set of 4. They said hi to him. He did not speak. They thought he was very rude. 2 of them were sisters. They seen him before this happened that day. So did the girls go down under the bridge? So they went down the embankment and then up another hill and through the creek and then into a little bowl area that's the crime scene. I'll show it here in just a little bit. Even if it means to get the girls back for that. I don't know. As well as his 6th Amendment rights. Yeah, they violated so many rights, let me tell you. This happened on my birthday. Oh my gosh. So it's hard to celebrate. I always think of Abby and Libby. That would be hard. I'd have an extra 2 candles on the cake just because. Olive, I know the clothes were wet, perhaps through water, but not unalive. Yes, he forced them to walk through the creek. I think when he got it wrong the first time, they decided this time they were not doing it again and painted him guilty. Maybe. Oops, I don't know why I did that. Seems like this 2 missing together thing is not typical. No, it's not. So in the United States, and I found this out when I did research for another case, when I did the Evansdale Murders Live, there was 17, there has been 17. Now that was done last year, I think, maybe. You'd have to go find the date that I did it. Anyway, up until the point that I did that live, there had been 17 double abductions of children since 1970. So it's not typical. It's not common. In fact, it's very rare. Destroying notes is definitely illegal unless they were dictated. Yep, I know. So, Little Black Bear, hope you're feeling better. Take good care. Let's see. Sorry, dictated, but put on MedTech file electronically. No, they weren't. Her notes were destroyed. There is no record of them anywhere. Just the facts, man. Morning are rough, but a little walk helps to straighten out my blood sugar every morning. Walkie. No, I am not going for a walk early in the morning. Now I'll go for one in the evening. He might have been a watcher of CSA involving girls. CSAM, yeah. Very well. It was never said that he had CSAM on his phone, but that would have meant he had to have the phone from 2017. And out of all the phones that they confiscated during the search warrant, the only phone that was missing was 2017. That hair that was found in their hands, did they run it through CODIS? I don't know, because they literally ran it for DNA during trial. Like literally, like right before trial, they ran it for DNA, and it was an unknown male DNA. So that was very unprofessional of his doctor. Unprofessional and illegal as frick. Kelly, so no hit. Go to I don't think so, no. They should run it again as they have many more samples. I think they should, but I think they tested it against to make sure it wasn't the grandpa and the brother, maybe. They ran it against a couple people, but it was listed as unknown male DNA. Have to go 3 a.m. Oh my gosh, no way. Thank you for watching, Kimberly. Hope you'll catch it on replay. Comes early. Hubby is a lobster fisherman. Ooh, does he bring you lobster home? We'll watch replay tomorrow. Hugs and love to you all. Thank you. Tell him he owes you a big lobster. Also, the girl stopped, in my opinion. Maybe another person as well was coming over way too. So essentially, Abby told Libby, don't leave me up here. So Libby was waiting for Abby to get across the bridge at that time. Bridge guy was there and they were stuck. They had nowhere to go. They were cornered in every means of the word. One behind them and one in front. I've not ruled that out. And they were looking to go down the path to get away. But in my opinion, Lan, I've not ruled that out. I've thought that kind of from the start. I've never been able to rule that possibility out. Little black bear, well, that's a great idea, but it's very cold here the past few weeks. Too cold for me, but I don't have a pup anymore either. Oh, what happened to your dog? Glad that works for you, though. That's great. What happened to... Oh, I feel bad that your puppy's gone. In my opinion, well, maybe that hair is the key. Could be. Very well could be. Okay, so... Was it Little Black Bear that wanted me to play this again? I don't remember. Okay, one of you wanted me to replay this. So, let me play this out. Again, this is from Sunny. It's a Creamy Shame. Maybe I can get it to work. And I will... This is the link for the video. But I will mute myself and we will play this out.
See, this is the path.
Okay, I'm going to restart that. Listen really close. You guys may have to get earphones to listen to it, headphones, or earbuds. You can hear Abby say, "Don't leave me."
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Hi.
So, Lynn, you said you can hear it good on Shars. So, let me... Do you know, is it in her video section or in her shorts section? Do you know? Yeah, it was a whisper. Let's see. I would think it was maybe... Yeah, it's in her short section. Okay, so let's watch this.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to close that out. Hopefully that doesn't. Yeah, it didn't. Okay. Where is. There it is. Okay. So hopefully you guys heard it there. I will drop the link to that one in the chat because that one is on Charmaine's. So you can go to either Sunny or Charmaine and watch that as many times as you want, possibly with headphones. Genealogy tree time on their hair, in my opinion, maybe. Ooh. Oh, sorry. Squirrel. Anyway, I just had a random thought. Maybe Charmaine might be able to send me that video, or maybe I can record that video since the sound is better on hers. And then I can run it through my software like I did with the Wade and Tint video and see if I can remove some of the crackling. But that the girls are talking lightly, so I don't know. I might have to play around with that later and see. Anyway, Squirrel. Because the two together was a thing in Jack and Lily case too. Yes. Oh, okay. Her notes destroyed is very unprofessional. Yes. Did she say what the notes contained? Not really. She said a little bit at trial, but not really what the notes contained. No. That implicated her failure to report his risk to offend. That violated all kinds of things. So did the trail stop where the girls were? Yeah. So there was a little walking area, like that little gravel piece that they're on. But the trail itself had stopped. But there was like a little area to get back down, but not an actual quote unquote trail. Yep, I heard her say it. It's a whisper. Yeah, it's very light. I heard her say, "Don't leave me," sounded like he said, "Get down the hill." Yes. Kelly, let's hope they saved the DNA. Hopefully. I mean, shorts, it looks like rocks. Yes. Hey, we're not found on the trail. No, they were not found on the trail. So let me go. Hold on. I'm adding stuff to show you guys. So give me just 1 second here. Add that. Where is the picture? That I want. Let me go back here. Is it in here? Yes, there it is. Okay. So let me add one more picture that we're going to talk about today. Oh, yes. Okay. So there's a couple pictures. We're going to pause here for a second. So this is Richard Allen. For those that don't know what the devil himself looks like. This is the area that the girls were found. Trigger warning for the next photo. I showed it yesterday, but for those that weren't here, I'm going to show it again. This is what Richard Allen looked like. This is an exhibit that was used at trial, and you can see the two black eyes and the swelling, along with blood on his head. This was after he had banged his head front and back on a steel door. And it even said yesterday that they did not bother to check on him when he did that. Safekeeping order, it's literally in the name. So this first one, that is from July of 2017. Let me mark where I'm at in chat here real quick. So this was the first sketch that they gave us of Bridge Guy. The second one was from April 2019, which was Bridge Guy 2, or Young Bridge Guy. And then in October of 2022, that is Richard Allen. So let me go back here. So I want to show you guys. We keep talking about this courtroom. This is the courtroom. So there are 72 chairs in this courtroom. They are wood. They are hard and uncomfortable. There was no food or drink allowed in the courtroom. No candy, no nothing. So approximately 24-ish people were allowed in the courtroom, and we sat here from the corner in the left here, these 3 rows on this side. This very front row on the defense side here, on the closest one to you, that was a media seat along with the one straight across from it. The 3 rows behind that was family. Now, there were a lot of officers and such standing in the back. This big TV up here that you see, that was purchased for this trial. There was a lot of technical issues with it. But I wanted you guys to actually see the courtroom. Now, where I sat was 1, 2, 3. I don't remember who's out there then. So this row at the bottom here, that's kind of the first kind of almost full row that you see. I don't remember who sat in the first chair at the aisle. But then you had Aspen, me, and then Tom Webster. I was sandwiched between 2 beautiful men for the days that I was there. So let's put Abby and Libby up while I catch up in chat real quick. Kelly, that is an excellent idea to run family tree. Yeah, you would think that they would have done that, though. I don't know. In the 5.5 years they had before we went to trial. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a Joe Smo down the street. How old were they? So Abby was 13. Libby was 14. I know, Kelly, I was just asking if trail kept going. That's why I thought maybe another person walking to them. So it doesn't actually keep going, but they were told to go down the hill, and there could have been possibly a second person. So even after Richard Allen was convicted, the prosecutor came out and said that, they got a conviction, but they're still open to evidence in case, because one of the media people had asked him, is he the only one that was involved, or is he the only one going to be charged? And they essentially said they're still open to possibilities if anybody has any information. So, in my opinion, that is the prosecutor telling us he's not even sure that it was just one person. That's terrible. Yes. So that was Charmaine's link. Let me catch up here. I think they were plotting to try and avoid him, but he followed them. Yes, they were definitely scared, in my opinion, and trying to figure out how to get out of the situation. Like I said, they were cornered and they were looking for an exit. And unfortunately, there wasn't one. If there would have been an easy path, I feel like the girls would have ran. You could tell that they were both scared and got trapped with him. That's why she says hi when they are already on the path with gravel. Yeah, she didn't want to be rude, but I think they would, if there was a path, an easy path, they would have took off running, in my opinion. Like I said, you could tell by their voices, they were timid and scared. It leads from a parking lot. Me too. So where the path ended, it actually leads to private property on that. They were trapped. They were, which is really sad. That seems like a very isolated, remote area. So yeah, this, you can't really see it. You can kind of see the hill here, but where the crime scene tape is here, this is a very low lining area. So it's almost like a little bowl, that because it was a hill on both sides of them, like circling them. So they were down in this bowl when they were found. I mean, she destroyed them to cover her own butt. Yeah, I believe so. Like I was saying earlier to somebody when I was talking to him, it's like, what was your question, right? Like, if you're talking to somebody, what was your question to him before he quote unquote confessed, right? What was the conversation that led to that? Did you say, tell me what happened? Did you say, if you were the killer, what would you say? Like, her notes are destroyed, so we'll never know for sure, right? Like, it gives me pause that she destroyed her notes. And like I said, I'm one of those that I think he's guilty, and it's hard to move me, but this is a very well written appeal because it's making me wonder. For knowing he was high risk and did not report to police. I mean, he was in a prison. They had him on self-deletion watch. They were supposed to be watching him. He's on self-deletion watch and he's banging his head on a door for an hour, front and back, and a visible goose egg. He's visibly hurt. And you did nothing. And it said yesterday, literally, nobody checked on him. Those were the exact words. Nobody checked on him. She has a duty to report, so that's the only explanation to me as of why she would destroy. So, Tamarine, she was the psychologist in the prison. Like, she didn't meet him until after he was at the prison. So she wasn't his psychologist beforehand. But they used everything he said to her against him. Which again I felt was wrong. The fact that there was unidentified DNA gives him the pathway to give an alternative perspective defense or perpetrator defense. Guess what? You want to know what? You want to know what the judge said? Yeah, the judge said no third party defense at all. She literally took his ability to say, well, so and so did it, away from him. No third party defense was allowed. Can we say violation of rights? That is where I would have focused a lot of my attention in the appeal, is that he was told no third party defense would be allowed. Did I meet Lauren Mathis? I did. Her and her little sidekick. Tag nabbit, what's her name? Her name is escaping me at the current moment, but yes, I did actually. I sat beside her and Aspen during the press conference. He was not allowed to introduce third-party evidence or theory, correct? Kelly, another violation of his Sixth Amendment, right? Like they seen his rights and went, but violate. Oh, that's another right. Violate. Literally, they took every thing they could. They could not have violated his rights any more than they did, in my opinion, unless they would have unalived him. Is that place still like that now? Still? Yes. Are you talking the crime scene, or are you talking the courthouse? The courthouse, yes. The crime scene, yes, just without the crime scene tape. That's probably when he showed the gun subtly. Maybe they had no choice then to comply. Exactly. That's what Grayson, that's right, Grayson. Yeah. I mean, I think that's how he got him to comply. And one was not going to leave the other. Or did you share any information with Alan? Did I? No, I didn't share any information with Alan. Or do you mean her? We don't know. I mean, she was on all these podcasts and in these chat groups and all this. So what did she tell him? Because all of a sudden, after she's in all these chat rooms and she's doing all this research and listening to these podcasts, all of a sudden the box cutter comes out, which was discussed in chat rooms. The white van came out in admission because of, that was in these chat rooms. So we don't know, right? It's very concerning that the notes are gone. Now, like I said earlier, it was videotaped. Well, where's that video? I'd like to know. Okay, I understand now. Prison psychologist. No notes, no credibility. Right. Yes, Grayson. She was a little sweetie. The bridge, it should be closed down or cameras installed. Okay. So the bridge now, let me see. Did I take a picture of trying to see here if I took a picture of the bridge? Because give me just a second. That was the water under it. Okay, that's so when I was there, I was very no, I didn't. So I was very cognizant of where I was. That's probably why I didn't take a picture. So they fixed part of the bridge, and I don't mean like fixed so it could be used because it's an inactive train trestle. They poured concrete and it's now got a barrier around it, a fence, but you are able, if you're willing and adventurous and don't care about your life because of, well, I'll tell you. You can crawl across that barrier. It stands, I don't know, 3.5, 4 foot tall, and climb out onto the train tracks or the train trestle. It wasn't like that before. You could just literally walk right across it. Now they've put up a little bit of a barrier. Now, somebody I was with decided they were adventurous. There were 2 of them that decided they were super adventurous and didn't care about their life and said, I've walked this track before. So they climbed over the track and they landed, and the railroad tie broke. Thank God there was metal below them. They got out. They're fine. But yeah, there's not enough money in the world to make me claim that. But they did put up somewhat of a barrier, and they tell you not to climb over it and not to walk on the track. But most people probably aren't going to listen to that. Despite the heinous crime, it's cool to me you were at the bridge and in court. Makes you a star to me. So I don't know. I started out as a line holder, and I only went, I don't know, 3 or 4 days into court. I was a line holder a lot more, but I only actually physically myself went into court 3 or 4 times. And I wasn't really doing YouTube, but I did go on with Sunny from time to time, here and there. And I did go on with Sunny a couple of days after court, and I took a hellacious amount of notes, and we went over the notes. I said how Richard Allen was acting, and I talked about how the jury was reacting to things. I talked about the family. So if you want to see that, that's on Sunny's page. Her link is in the description below. But I did go on Sunny's page and talk about court a couple of times. Kelly, thank you. So that all being said, let's get back to I gotta remove that dum and put this back up. Okay, give me just a second if I can find my mouse. Okay, so when it comes to the bullet, so yesterday we talked about a little bit about the bullet and whether or not fired bullets versus unfired bullets. So let's see what this says, because I don't want to repeat myself 5 million times. The jury heard from a battle of firearms experts over the bullet. For the state, Oberg testified that when she matched test firings, keep in word this word right here, from Allen's gun to the unspent, okay? So she had to fire it. She's comparing a spent bullet, one that has been fired and went through the barrel of a gun, to one that has not been fired and went through the barrel of a gun. Keep that in mind. I'm sure you guys all know that, but I'm sure you know the difference, but I'm pointing it out for those that don't. Casing at the murder scene, she applied the Association of Firearm Toolmark Examiners methodology. She gave an error rate of methodology at 2.2% for false positives and 2.87 for false negatives. She discussed studies and articles that she reviewed to apply the methodology. Oberg admitted that the AFTE methodology is subjective, but she testified that in 17 years of applying it, she was unaware of ever making a mistake in identification. During closing, the prosecutor told the jury that she has never been wrong. Really? Really? Like, okay, first of all, I can tell you you were wrong for comparing a spent bullet with an unspent bullet. You see why? One has gone through a barrel. So the lands and grooves on a bullet are caused by the barrel of the gun. That happens when you fire it. You also only get a firing pin marking when it's been fired. You cannot test a fired bullet against an unfired bullet and say that they match. That's apples versus oranges, people. Just saying. I had lived in Salmon River close to the border of Truro 20 years ago. Oh, wow. Every casing has a firing pin mark. Yeah, as far as the mark for firing it, yeah, once you fire it, but you're not going to have that firing pin ping on it, that indentation, until it's fired. That's where she made her mistake, but she's never been wrong. She ain't never been wrong. Yeah, right, exactly. I've never been wrong. Give me a break. Right. Come on. In 17 years, you've never, once. Bullshit. Tell that to somebody that was born last night. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night, honey. It's slime a fingerprint marking. It's like a fingerprint, yes. Marking every gun is unique. Yes, it is. Hello, Woman's Warrior. Welcome in. I don't think I seen you earlier. Yeah, it's like a fingerprint, okay? You can compare them easily. Under a microscope, you can compare them and match those markings up perfectly. However, it has to be a spent bullet with a spent bullet. You can't take a spent bullet and an unspent bullet and say, yep, they match. Bullshit. One's got markings on it from the barrel of the gun. Just saying. Right? And never wrong. I call bullshit. Somebody's got a really good view of themselves there. She should have been working on the scene of rust. The expert. Wow. Oh no. Uh, that was so sad. I think they got the right verdict though for that armor. And I'm glad that, you know, Alec Baldwin was not found responsible because it was not his job. Um, he was told the firearm was safe, so I think they got the right verdict on that. What a mess. The gun experts not experting, right? She's pretty cocky to say never wrong, right? I've never been wrong. I've never been wrong on a case or how I felt about somebody. I've never been wrong. Yeah, okay. I call bullcrap. That statement from the closing argument is an example of prosecutorial misconduct and a violation of ethics. That is a flat out lie. Exactly. She said she wasn't aware of ever making a mistake. They're saying unequivocally that she's never been wrong. Those are two different things. That is cause for a new trial. I agree. I fully agree. He needs a new trial. Hit the thumbs up. Oh, little black bear. Thank you. Hello, women's warrior. I just got here, Melissa. Nice to have you back. I'm glad to be back. I had dozed and YouTube autoplay must have directed to your live stream. I heard your voice and woke up. So here I am. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you up. That would be scary. Like if I was sleeping and all of a sudden I heard somebody's voice, that would be creepy. Yeah, that would be weird. Even if the trail stops where the girls are at, anyone new going there, if they had to go back the same way, what if the bridge has scary people on it to this day? Normally they would walk back across the bridge. That's how they would get back. And if somebody was on it, you would wait for them to get off. But in this case, unfortunately, they were trapped. They were backed into a corner and had nowhere to go. And then were forced to go down a very steep hill. How they didn't fall down that hill, I'll never know. So, let's see. It's never been wrong. Yeah, whatever. For the defense, Eric Warren, who is an expert in applying the AFTE methodology, testified that comparing tool marks on an unspent cartridge with tool marks on a spent test firings is akin to comparing apples to oranges. Yes. See, he took the words right out of my mouth. And in his opinion, there was an insufficient agreement on the tool marks to match Allen's gun with the unspent casing found at the murder scene. Bingo. Bingo, bingo. So did we go over, I don't remember last night if we went over shoot, I just literally lost my train of thought. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to write it in my notes here in a minute. Going back to this, because I lost my thought. Christopher Cecil testified regarding the movement and health data on Libby's phone. The girls encountered Bridge Guy at 2:13 p.m. and Libby's phone stopped registering movement at 2:32:39 p.m. He summarized the movement data as follows. Between 1:31:40 and 2:08:48 p.m., 1,682 steps were walked. Between 2:08:48 and 2:18:48, 414, so 414.38 meters were walked. At 2:52:20, I'm dyslexic today, Kelly. At 2:25:22 to 2:32:39, 2 flights climbed and the final movement was recorded. Now, where it says 2 flights climbed, we think that's when they were going up the hill. The state argued that this activity overlapped with Allen being on the trails and Allen completing the murders and leaving the scene by 3:56 p.m., where he was seen by Carbaugh walking on 300 North. Allen contested this timeline through Stacey Eldridge, a former FBI forensic analysis. She testified that someone inserted. Oh, yes, this is what I was talking about. Did we go over the Google yesterday? I don't remember. If not, hopefully we go over it here. If not, somebody remind me as soon as I'm done reading this part to go get the Google information. Sorry. She testified. Okay, so she testified that someone inserted wired headphones or an auxiliary cable into Libby's phone at 5:45 p.m. and removed it at 10:32 p.m. This would silence the phone, and she noted that an incoming phone call occurred moments before the headphone or auxiliary cable was plugged into the phone, which would have silenced the call. In response to Eldridge's testimony, the state asked Cecil whether, oh, here we are. Good. We're going over it again. Sorry, guys. Squirrel. I told you I'm in a good mood, but my brain is everywhere. So my brain is not here. I'm sorry, y'all. It's everywhere. I'm in a good mood. So in response to Eldridge's testimony, the state asked Cecil whether water damage could be responsible for Eldridge's findings. So let me remove that. Let me show you the phone itself. This one. So this is the phone. This is an evidence photo that was used at trial. If you want me to pull the one up with the sticker, I will, but this is a closer up view of it. And you can see the moisture on the phone. You can also see that it's under leaves, as if it were dropped. And I can't say as somebody buried it, because a little bit of wind will cover things with leaves too. So I can't say it was buried, but this is the phone in question. That is Libby's phone. Over a hearsay objection. Okay. Now, let me go back up here. He is Eldridge, former FBI forensic analyst. Okay. He was there as an expert witness. Keep that in mind. Expert witness. Over a hearsay objection, Cecil testified he Googled it during the trial and found some unspecified, non-peer-reviewed troubleshooting forums reporting that water damage or dirt within the headphone socket could mimic headphones being inserted. They asked the man a question. They took a break. Dum-dum expert witness goes outside the courtroom, still in the courthouse, Googles the answer, comes back into the courtroom, says, well, I Googled it, and this is what they said. Honey, if that's what it takes to be an expert witness, we could all do it. It was objected to. She said, nope, we're going to hear it. Really? Since when? If you are at a trial, a murder trial, just like this one, and you had and you're on the jury, and the expert says, I went and I Googled it. And this is what Google says. Are you, one, you're going to give that expert witness credibility? Two, hell no. You guys tell me while I catch up in chat. So this is where I left off, and it says, that's a red flag right there, what she said. Experts can be scammers and unethical, like someone said in chat. They can be, and often are. So even when they're wrong, they're right. Right? Especially her now. She's never been wrong. They are one of a kind of people. Sounds narcissistic. Yeah, she might want to go see a psychologist herself because she definitely sounds like one, huh? Aw, thank you, Women's Warrior. Hey, everyone. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing all right today. Yes. You guys got to pardon my squirrel brain today because I'm in a good mood and it just, there's some days that's how it is. Women's Warrior. I've had that happen before too. I always have earbuds in and autoplay. I'm glad it directed you here. I am too. I stopped following this trial. Now I'm on it again because it's Melissa. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, I want to thank Teresa Criminality. Her link is also in the description below, as she is the one that was so kind to share the appeal and the state's response with me. Copycats and predators in secluded areas. Yeah, right. Google. Google's the expert. Yep. They are not supposed to be on media or talk to others about the trial, even during breaks. Judge sounds biased too. Yep. Right, women's wear. No wonder they don't allow phones in court. Well, they're going to have to if they're going to allow Google as an expert. I mean, he Googled it. He Googled it and found some troubleshooting forums, non-peer reviewed, so undocumented troubleshooting forums that were unspecified. How much more unprofessional, unqualified, non-expert could they have had? He Googled it. Yeah, Google. It'll be all right. Just Google it. I mean, AI is taking over. I get it. But that doesn't mean you have the right to Google the answer and then go testify as an expert witness back in trial. They literally took a break so he could figure it out. Like, literally, that's what the break was for. So he could go figure it out. And then he come back and, well, I Googled it. Hell no, right? Hell no, I ain't Googling it. No, I'm glad. Well, good. At least you weren't disappointed. Wow, what an expert. I know, right? Should PF ask Gemini class her as a woman and we know best? What's PF? I don't know what PF is. Can use a phone, just not for the purposes. It's unethical and goes against court rules because it was the case in response to the case. Oh my God, corruption. Right. Okay. See, I thought of, but I thought OnlyFans because I thought, well, maybe she means OF, but I'm like, why would she say OnlyFans? Telling you my brain ain't working today. I got a weird brain today. Should have asked Gemini class her as a woman and we know better. Oh, right. I mean, okay, look. I get the defense's hands were tied with money and all of that because, like, they were going months on end, like 6 months without being paid. Okay, I get it. Money's an issue, especially when you're getting an expert witness. But Google, you literally took a break. And now the defense objected to this. The defense said, can't do that. It's hearsay. It's not admissible. The judge said, overruled. Huh? So now I think I just misspoke. So let me go back up here. So that's okay. So Allen's attorneys, contested the timeline through Eldridge, who is a former FBI forensic analyst. Okay. That's what she is. The state's witness. It was the state's witness that went outside in the hallway and said, let me Google this real quick so I can go back and answer the judge and tell the, hold on, let me Google it. Oh, that's not peer reviewed. Oh, well, that's good enough of an answer. Okay, well, I went outside and I Googled it, and this is what it said. So I take back what I said about the state, about the defense hands being tied. It was the state's witness that decided Google was the way to go. Seriously? You spent $1.4 million on this trial and you couldn't get a witness that didn't have to use Google? I can't see. No glasses, hitting the wrong keys. Bear with me. 1 a.m. here. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, I got you. I misspell all the time because I got fat fingers. Okay, so I just had to, yep, they covered it. Google. That's if you guys ever get in trouble, just Google it. Just Google. Speaks volumes. The state's kangaroo court, right? It was the state's witness. Oh, well, I misspoke. It was the state's witness. Wow. The judge ruled with malice and total disregard for the truth. Can you say that louder for those that didn't hear it in the back? Exactly. Like, come on. You have got the defense saying, no, we object to this. It is hearsay. It's not peer review. You've got defense saying, no. You've got a judge saying, I don't care. Google it. That is cause for an appeal as well. Yeah, there were a lot of things for cause for appeal, and I'm glad they're using it in the appeal. I'm glad that they are using it. Yep, just Google if it's allowed, guys. Just Google it. Good Lord. And then you've got the defense saying no, and you've got her saying, I don't give a shit. Oh my gosh. So the confessed motive. Number 4, when the state arrests, you got to ignore my dog. He's barking at the dog across the street. When the state arrested Allen, it had no explanation for the murders. However, the state argued that once placed in solitary, Allen confessed to the crime and the motive. While gravely disabled, he was eating poo-poo, rubbing it on himself, rubbing it in his food, keeping it in his mouth and drooling for later. I can't finish that. Watch yesterday's live. Ew. Allen confessed to the guards, Dr. Walla, and his family. On May 3rd, 2023, he told Dr. Walla he was going to, you see the word, SA, these girls, but panicked and killed them. He said they were screaming. The prosecutor argued that the jury should believe Allen's confessions, despite his psychosis. Relying on the opinions of Dr. Walla, the guards, and Trooper Harshman, who reviewed Allen's videos and calls, the prosecutor claimed that Allen's confessions were logical and organized and the product of free will and his newly found religion. So, one of these logical and organized confessions was, I killed Abby and Libby and I will never cheat on a cigarette again. One of these logical confessions and organized was sorry, train of thought just left. Oh, dang it. Oh, I'll get back to it. But anyway, they were not logical or organized at all. Rewatch yesterday's stream. We went over the confessions then, and that train of thought, that thought I just had, is surely over there. Almost every guard testified Allen's bizarre behavior was orchestrated and not the product of mental illness. You gotta be mentally ill to eat your own poo-poo, okay? One guard, some of these unalive companions that he had were other inmates. Okay, just to point that out. One guard said he knew Allen was truthful in his confession because of the look in his eye. Some guards claimed inmates commonly smear and or eat feces as a tool for attention. None are mental health professionals or Allen's mental health code or knew Allen's mental health code. Each time Allen confessed to Dr. Walla, she said he was not delusional, hallucinating, or psychotic. April 5th, 3rd, and 10th. Although Allen expressed confusion and memory gaps, she suspected he was fiending or acting bizarrely. Okay, so one of these organized confessions, during that confession of he killed Abby and Libby, he also said that he SA'd his sister and his daughter. That's the thought I had. And that was disputed and found to be incorrect. So you can't tell me he's having logical and organized confessions when this stuff is happening. I can show you his written confession. It's not logical or organized. On cross, she admits she may have been wrong. Dr. Wall admits she may have been wrong, and Allen might have been genuine. With hindsight, she was on the fence. Huh? Bitch, listen. You are an expert witness, okay? In a trial. You should not have destroyed your notes, okay? You should not have been on podcasts and in social media and posting about this case. But now you're saying, well, I might have been wrong. He may have been genuine. No, I don't know. I'm on the fence. Seriously? And you're an expert? Now, you're only supposed to be in this solitary confinement no more than 30 days due to an IPAS settlement where the prison got sued. He was in there for 13 months. I would go crazy too. So, give me just a second, guys. Sorry, I had to yell at the dog. He's being a little booty hole. So that's where I left off. So, some good experts and PIs on recent dentist trial, in my opinion. The expert for AH and Amber Heard in Johnny Depp's trial. Oh my God, unbelievable. His expert was excellent. Hey, some experts are worth their weight. Some, are not. Gravely disabled. So he had major depressive disorder and anxiety, and then he slipped into psychosis. That's where they're saying he was gravely disabled. He was listed as that, supposedly. He lived at home with his family at the time. Yes. How was he functioning? Just fine. He also had a job. Now, he had been accused of making the female employees at CVS very uncomfortable. Just so you know. Psychosis got triggered in custody. I believe so, yes. I mean, you're only supposed to be in there 30 days, and he was in there 13 months by himself. So I would say, yes, it was triggered by custody. Trying to understand it all. We'll have to do more research. You can watch yesterday's live, and there's all kinds of people that covered this case from the beginning. But this, like I said, this is going to be a multi-part series, especially since I'm already almost at 2 hours. I don't feel like we covered anything. Well, they should have had a prison psychologist test him. That's what Dr. Walla was. For malingering and feigning mental illness, then like they did with the dentist. That's what Dr. Walla was. The prison psychologist. Let that sink in. Tamarine, I believe they truly tried to make him crazy. I agree. With solitary for months and being on Halidol, heavily medicated. Yes, they forced him with shots of Halidol. Agree, Kelly. But then again, I believe Ron Logan was the killer. So who knows? I actually have, I won't show it. I'll send you a message later, Marie, on that. Nothing wrong. Just where Ron Logan has a black eye shortly after this happened. I don't know if Ron Logan was the killer. So, for those that don't know who Ron Logan is, Ron Logan owned the property where the girls were found. Ron Logan lied and tried to have somebody else lie for him if the cops came around before the girls were even found. He is now dead. If he had a psychotic disorder, he didn't have a psychotic disorder. Not before he went to prison. Only after he was held in confinement for, I think at that point, it was either 4 to 6 months when he had the psychotic break. They may not have kept up the proper cocktail of meds he was on in the community. So when he went to this prison for safekeeping, he only had major depressive disorder and anxiety. If he was psychotic at home or the community before, it would have been mentioned, right? Yeah. No, he only had major depressive disorder and anxiety when he went to prison. It makes you crazy in confinement. It's disgusting. I'm on the fence. This is a man's life in the palm of your hands. It's absolutely disgusting, right? Now, again, I was a full believer this man is guilty. And I'm not so sure now after reading some of this. My head doing a Linda Blair last night, right? Does Logan, I'll show you the picture I have that I was gonna send Mary. Since you want to know. Let me find it here. Give me just a second. I'm pretty sure I know where it's at, but I'm not positive. Nope, not in that one. See? Told you I'm not positive. I have it. Give me just 1 second. S'more, stop. So this is Ron Logan. And it looks like he's got a bruise in his eye right here, but that's Ron Logan. This picture was taken 1 or 2 weeks after the girls were killed, because this was his I drove on a suspended license mugshot. We need Logan's DNA. Yep. We need a lot of people's DNA. So somebody, I don't know how true it is, because at trial I heard them say unidentified male. Somebody said that the hair was actually a family member. I don't know if that's true though. I don't think it's true though. Just my opinion. I don't think that's true. I have major depressive disorder, anxiety, and much more on disability. Psychosis is very serious. Depression and anxiety can cause psychosis for sure. If he's innocent, prison caused the psychosis. Exactly. I think being locked in a room, if you have major depression disorder and anxiety, and they lock you in a room for 4 to 6 months, and you're only out, what, 5 times a week for 1 hour of recreation in a very tiny cage, and you get to take a shower 3 times a week, but everything you do is videotaped. Yeah, I'm sure it did cause his psychosis. Just saying. I hate defending him. I hate it. But like I said earlier to somebody else, a friend, I have to keep an open mind. If I'm really in this for the right reasons, let me add these girls to stage instead of this dum-dum. If I'm really trying to do this fairly, I need to keep an open mind. And these have somewhat changed my mind on his innocence. He had the same coat as Bridge Guy, just saying, I know he did. I know he did. Melissa, you and Daphne are great record keepers. I am, and I'm not. I'm very disorganized. I've been trying to get everything organized on my computer because I take so many screenshots. I've got over 2,000 screenshots in one folder at this point. And that doesn't even count the recordings I have. I tell you what, I got it. I got it. It's just a matter of where is it? I only said he should have been tested for faking if they thought he was. You can't just use an opinion of guards as saying he faked it. I know. And if the guards would have said they thought he was faking it, they should have tested it. But they didn't. They didn't. A real professional, keywords real professional, test for malingering if people are saying it. Really is a real professional, though. She is the prison psychologist, and she's like, well, I'm in these chat groups and I'm posting on the case and I'm following the case and I'm treating him. It just go watch yesterday's live. We talked a lot about her. She's a dum-dum. I wouldn't consider her a real professional. Put that hat on him, Cap. I don't know how. I am not that good. I don't think he's guilty. They just needed a scapegoat, and unfortunately, he is at a wrong place, wrong time. In my opinion, what is the criminal history of Ron Logan? Ron Logan's got an extensive criminal history, mostly driving without a license or being drunk. However, Ron Logan does have domestic battery, from what I remember, convictions. If you talk to his ex, actually, if you Google Ron Logan, or not Google, go to YouTube, Ron Logan and Delphi murders. There is a video, and I don't remember who did it, or I'd tell you, and if I had it, I'd drop the link, but I don't have it. There is a video while I'm talking about it. S'mores, shut up. There is a video of Ron Logan's ex-wife. Maybe it was girlfriend. Give me just a second. I know it right here. Okay, that's 5 minutes. Okay, right here. It was done with Ashley Banfield. So give me just a second here, because I don't know if News Nation will strike me or not. So I'm just going to drop the link to this. It's about 5 minutes long, and we are going to end this live here just shortly, and then you can go watch it if you don't care to hang around until then. Logan kind of looks like one of the sketches, the first sketch. Kind of, a little bit, yes. His phone location was also lined up at times, and his alibi was a lie. Yes, that is correct, Mary. So he told somebody to give him that he needed an alibi if the cops came around, and tried to get this person to lie and give him an alibi before the girls were even found. And then let's see, he was driving, I think it was, because that's what they ended up getting him for. I want to say to a pet shop, but I don't remember if that's right or not. It's been a while. It's been a very long while, and my brain don't work. I agree. Halidol is very old, strong antipsychotic. Yes, and it's used for the worst of the worst. They gave him multiple injections of quick acting before they switched to extended releases, essentially. If it didn't help him, they should have tried something else. And they said that it didn't help much at all. And he was having hallucinations and stuff like that. That's all in yesterday's live. I am convinced they just didn't care because of his illness and the crime. I agree. I think they were hoping he'd take himself out. The doctor should ask Google for a diagnosis. Oh my God, yes. I mean, hey, why not? The guards were supposed to protect him from himself and other people, yet they let him self-harm himself, yes, with no intervention, causing massive bruising from banging his head on the metal door over and over for an hour. Now, he also, and we went over this yesterday, he took the spork that they give you in jail because they don't trust you with forks and spoons, with good reason. He stuck that into his genitalia. Okay. I think he's crazy at that point. That was all in yesterday's live. Go watch it if you want to. I do understand that, Melissa, for sure. Even if he's guilty, I still advocate for proper mental health treatment and no discrimination against anyone suffering. I agree, Tambourine. And that's what bugs me so much is I'm not necessarily standing up for Richard Allen at this point. I'm standing up for the fact that his medical rights were violated, that his attorney-client privilege was violated. His rights were violated so bad that I feel I need to almost defend him in a way. And these rights are like, they should not be violated. Like, it's wrong. I don't care what you did. Your rights should not be violated. I don't care if you're guilty, but your rights shouldn't be violated. And the sad part is his rights were violated while he was in a prison for safekeeping when another county jail was willing to take him and had the mental health staff to take care of him. So Ricky Davis video claims it was Logan. So I think, let me look and see who that was. I want to say Ricky Davis is the guy I have the letter from. Let me see. Where is his? I want to say it was Ricky Davis that wrote the letter. That I have. Yes, I have. That is Ricky Davis. That's what I thought. I actually have the letters that Ricky Davis wrote. I do plan on going over those after we get through this. Oh my gosh, we only got through 4 pages, people, and it's 2 hours already. Wow, he may have committed the crime. Maybe. Yes, pet shop. That's what I thought. But then I was like, I was second guessing myself. Melissa, I've been writing songs for awareness for Jack and Lily and asking creators to play one at the end of their live streams. Only audio. Do you want me to email you one to play? Yeah, sure. But I'll have to review it before I play it. But somewhere in here, you have my email anyway, but somewhere in there is how to get a hold of me. Kelly, yes, I saw that. They had a duty to warn him to stop first, yes, and medicate him accordingly so that he couldn't harm himself. Agreed. He could have died from a brain bleed, fracture, concussion, many symptoms. So, again, trigger warning here. But, oh, wrong one. See, I've got too many Delphi files. I need to put them together. That is a head injury. Anybody who knows anything about medical, this is raccoon eyes. You can see the swelling, the double black eyes, and the blood at the top. That is from banging his head. That is a head injury, and a pretty serious one at that. I'm surprised that he didn't die, because that is a pretty serious head injury to witness and not check out. And I will, let me add the girls. Let me check something. Okay, so I want to get through at least this part where we're talking today, and then we will end the stream. So it might be a longer stream today, guys. Sorry. The conviction needs to be overturned and order a new trial. Yeah, I agree. I think he deserves a new trial. Your song Daphne played last night was beautiful. Yes, he sent a letter and he is cute. Who, Ricky Davis? I don't know that you said foreign inmate. I don't know. I've never seen him. Well, I probably have. And I'm just not remembering. It's been a while. Let me get through these comments real quick. Where did you share one on Facebook? Yeah, Women's Warrior, you got my email. You can also find me on Facebook. It's somewhere in that stuff there. I think I also have my Facebook linked on my YouTube. I think. If you go to my channel. See, I'm getting sidetracked. This is what you get when you get Melissa in a good mood. She gets sidetracked. Yes, my Facebook is linked on my channel under links. Okay. Well, that's what I thought. Okay. Back to these. I worked in mental health for over 25 years before going off sick myself. I've spent days in the ER with people in psychosis and a risk to unalive. The discrimination is unbelievable. People need a good advocate. They do. They sadly do. I know. Do you guys like my squirrel brain? I'm telling you. Tambourine, thank you for advocating a true empath. I agree. The song was beautiful. Send it. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna do a live tomorrow, and if it's a live by myself, because I don't know if Char's. I know we've got one with Char, so it might be the next day. But I will play it. But I want to listen to it first. Send it. Thank you, squirrel. I know my brain. When I'm in a good mood, I cannot get my brain to focus like on one thing. I'm everywhere. If I'm in a bad mood or an irritated mood, I can hyper focus. Today is not a hyper focus day. I'm sorry. He sounded convincing in the interrogation room. He did. What got me with that interrogation, though, is when Kathy walked in and she said, "You didn't tell me you were on the trail that day." And he's like, "Yes, I did." She's like, "No, you didn't. Didn't know you were on the trail that day." That bugged me. My husband fell 6 stories. Oh my God, is he alive? From the side of a building he was working on. Harness got unbuckled somehow and missed staging with his foot. He looked like this the next day. Wow, so he's lucky to fall 6 stories and still be alive. I can lead directly to dementia. He's lucky. Me too. Doug, the dog, is my nickname because I have squirrel brain. Normally I'm good. Today I'm everywhere. So I'm sorry that we have been 2 hours and I have squirrel brain today. Her songs are amazing. I listened to a few last night. Awesome. I will listen to it. And if I don't think I'll get copyright struck for it, then I'll play it for sure. But I want to listen to it first. I'm so sorry your husband had that fall. I love your intro song too, Melissa. Thank you. Okay, let's get through the last of this section. We left off where Dr. Wallace said, "Well, with hindsight, I'm on the fence whether or not he was feigning or not." Oh gosh. Let me remove some of this stuff because okay. And go there so you guys can see it. And mark where I was left off. Okay. So the state introduced 31 self-deletion observation reports containing Dr. Wallace's opinions. Except for a few, she continued to find Alan non-psychotic while documenting paranoia, delusional thoughts, confusions about being dead, and self-injury. Oh yeah, one of the confessions. See, squirrel. One of the confessions that was organized and logical was him saying, "I killed Abby and Libby, but I feel like I'm losing my mind. I think I did it. Maybe." Seriously? Okay. So Dr. Wallace's opinion is he's non-psychotic, but yet he's paranoid, delusional thoughts, has confusions about being dead, and is demonstrating self-harm. She at times labeled him as feigning for secondary gain. The day before he was deemed gravely disabled, she wrote, he could be exaggerating or consciously deteriorating while he ate feces. She called the behavior unclear. Dr. Martin believed Allen was psychotic, but in remission after a mid-April Haldol shot and back to baseline by May 2nd. Like Dr. Walla, he described psychotic symptoms, yet concluded Allen was much improved. When either doctor acknowledged psychosis, they attributed it to factors other than solitary. So, yeah, he's crazy. He's nutso. But it's not because we've held him in solitary. So he was in solitary from November, and this is May. So November, so December, January, February, March, April, May. 6 months. 6 months in solitary. Yeah, I think he's psychotic. Guys are saying it. It's not because he's in solitary, though. It's not because he got discovery that had pictures of what was done to these girls that he had to look at. It's not because while in solitary, he's got other inmates hollering at him and calling him all sorts of names and telling him to go kill himself or threatening his life if they get a hold of him. But it's not because of solitary, right? Regarding Alan's phone call confessions, Trooper Harshman said Alan's demeanor was calm and solemn and that he was not under any duress or stress. He opined Alan acted this way for attention. He acted what way? Calm and solemn? Alan called Dr. Westcott, a neuropsychologist who opined Alan entered Indiana Department of Corrections with major depression disorder and physically and mentally decompensated, showing early signs by December, and March became psychotic. April and June with residual symptoms later. Alan's solitary confinement, sleep loss, and starvation produced sensory deprivation, delirium, or psychosis. Dr. Westcott believed Alan was psychotic or delirious when confessing to Dr. Walla. After reviewing all the records and the videos and evaluating Alan for days, she found no evidence of malingering. Dr. Grayson, a psychiatrist experienced with solitary confinement cases, testified that such environments cause psychotic delirium, confusion, and disorientation. Delirious behavior often becomes grotesquely regressive, including smearing feces and sexually acting out, self-harm, and self-deletion. On recovery, memory is often absent, which, remember, he asked Dr. Walla, did I confess? Because he didn't remember doing it. He had no doubt Alan was delirious and saw signs of false memory, common in delirium, where a belief evolves into a perceived recollection. But his confessions were good. They're good. Let's go with that. Bullshit. Some people will say, I think I did it. Remember, that's what Alan said. He said, I think I did it. He said to his wife, I killed Abby and Libby. Or I think I did. I don't know. I'm losing my mind. That's what he said. We went over that yesterday. That's what he said. But hey, I think I did it. And after time start perceptualizing the event, the more someone tries to remember, the more concrete the distorted the memory becomes. It's like a game of telephone. We're going to stop there because I got a lot to say about this part. So we're going to highlight that so that I know where I stopped today. Hey, we got through, 6 pages. Not bad, I guess. Got through a lot more yesterday, but I was a lot more focused yesterday too. I think the man needs a new trial. I really, really do. So I'm going to end this poll if I can find it. And it looks like, so 40% said yesterday didn't change your mind at all. At this point, 35% say they don't know. Yes, a little bit was 15%, and yes, a lot was 10%. So over half of us is, I don't know, or has changed our mind just in 2 days of reading this. And that is really scary because he needs a new trial. I'm sorry, he just does. I own the coolie. Yes, his wife was confused whether or not to believe him or not. Yeah, she was. She was like, I don't know what to do. I created the song and paid for the copyright on Sunu. Okay. So, along with sending me that, um, send me something that says I have permission to play it, because that way, if I do get a copyright strike, I can fight it. Is he okay now? I think you're talking about the husband that fell. Wow. It's okay, Melissa. The discussion is excellent. It has been a good discussion tonight. We can take as long as we need. I have ADHD. I understand squirrel and hyper focus. I think I have ADHD. I've never been diagnosed with it, but yeah. I the more people tell me about it, the more I'm like, hey, that fits me. I don't want to go get tested though. Screw that. I'm in my late 40s. I don't care. I love when you are passionate and driven like this. It's refreshing. Thank you. I take a lot of these cases to heart. And I guess one of these, the reason I'm so passionate about this right now is because it's changing my mind. And I really feel he needs a new trial. I've said it since day one when I was sitting outside the courthouse. I was talking to the officer and I said, this is a practice trial, because you're going to do the real one when he appeals this. And hopefully, he does get a new trial. But unfortunately, a lot of people appeal, and the chances statistically of him getting a new trial are very low. He's okay. Hates going to the hospital. Unfortunately, I keep warning him to watch his head. He's 6'3" and hits his head all the time. I bet he does. His dad just died from dementia. I am so sorry. So sorry, Timbering. Both of you take care of yourselves. I'm so sorry for that. Yes. My mom did too. Yeah. My grandpa had dementia, and I think my dad might have a little touch of it. Like Thanksgiving. I don't know if you guys can hear that jiggling. I'm playing with my necklace. At Thanksgiving, I was clearing off the table, and I had taken a drink of my drink and put it back down on the table. And my dad, he had his drink in his hand, and he's talking to me, and he looks over at his hand and with the drink in it, and he said, Melissa, is this my drink or is this your drink? That's yours, Dad. Oh, okay. He didn't take a drink though. So I have a feeling that he might have beginning stages as well. His dad was 6'4". Holy crap. He had a serious head injury years ago and recent falls. He decompensated quickly over the last year and died 1 week after being placed in the nursing home. I am so sorry to hear that. So it looks like everybody is telling you sorry. My dad is 67 and he's stubborn. I noticed changing him 3 years ago. He has type 3 dementia. He has 3 types of dementia. I left my job to care for him full time. My great grandma had dementia, and I don't know that I could cared for her full time. I went over there. This is one of my best memories of my great grandma. I went over there one day, and mom had to go to work, and neither of my grandparents could watch me. And she didn't want to leave me home alone because I was like 8, and I had a habit of setting the house on fire. And so she left me with my great grandma who had dementia, who had a habit of leaving groceries on the floor, and then they would spoil. So the family started buying her canned food. So I remember my lunch that day was soup out of a can, not warmed up, just out the can, and a Snickers bar. That was the best day ever. Thanks, Kelly. I have minor concussion, and if you don't go on brain rest, it does damage. So a warning to always get checked after falls and treat sleep apnea. Yes, that is, yeah, I have that. Also causes dementia if untreated. It's a terrible disease. Yes. Okay, I was late diagnosed in my 40s, and it's runs through my family. The meds really help. Gets worse in perimenopause and menopause. Ooh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, same. But this case is riddled with violations. It is, and a lot of them. And like I said, they seen a right, whether it be a constitutional right, a state right, a medical right, a attorney-client right, and said, bet, let's violate it. And that's exactly what they did. It would be unjust not to overturn the conviction and order a new trial. I agree. I think he needs a new trial. Now, I'm still leaning more towards the guilty side, but my hand is now fully on the fence. Like, I'm holding the fence, but I'm not on it yet. My dad has Parkinson's. I know somebody that has that. I've been researching the different types of dementia since, even though I've had training, Teppa Snow is one of the best experts. Saw her in person locally. My dad's mom's nanny passed from dementia. It is hard. He has frontal lobe, vascular, and Alzheimer's. I agree. This is a trap, in my opinion, and unjust if it's not retried. I agree. So put a 1 in the chat if you think he should have a new trial, no matter whether you think he's guilty or not. Should he have a new trial? Put a 2 if you do not think he should have a new trial. And then while you're doing that, there was something I was going to show you. Image file. Nope, not that one. Go there. Oh yeah, remember, put it on all files, Melissa. Invalid image type. Oh yeah, I had to do that yesterday, didn't I? Where did I put it? Dagnabbit. I forgot I had to open it yesterday. Where is... Okay, so we're going to be done with this until tomorrow, and we will talk about the white van tomorrow. Or, well, I have Char tomorrow. So we'll do the white van day after tomorrow, whatever day that is. So let me remove that. Stop screen. Share screen. So this was the organized confession to the warden. That is, what was, I don't remember, coherent or whatever, organized and something. So this is a recreation. During the trial, press was allowed to go for 15 minutes and look at the exhibits. They weren't allowed to take photos or anything. So one of the reporters drew this out. It's a replica of what the exhibit was. This was slipped to the warden. He said, I'm ready to officially confess killing Abby and Libby. That's real, and signed it in the wrong spot back up there. Seems real coherent there, doesn't it? I hope I get the opportunity to tell the families I'm sorry. That doesn't seem organized to me. I mean, the word for should be down here. It shouldn't be like this. Like, seriously. Don't tell me that that is organized. So where did I leave off? I didn't mark where I left off in chat. Okay. So a lot of ones for a new trial. I think that says a lot. So I'm on my CPAP machine too. My goodness. I'm a case study, lol. Enjoying the rights and medical parts of this trial. Glad I'm back into it. I mean, I thought my mind could never be changed, and it's starting to change. I was so far away from that fence, and now I've got a hold of it. So by the end of this, I might be back on it. Now, what I'm going to do is after all this, after we get through all of his, which is 113 pages, I'm going to take his argument and I'm going to do a side-by-side window, and I'm going to share the whole screen, and we will see what Richard Allen said versus what the state said in order so that it makes sense all in. Hopefully I can get that all done kind of all at once. I have a CPAP machine. So everybody who knows me knows I constantly have some kind of respiratory issue going on. And we couldn't figure out why. Well, I was talking to my sister the other day, and I was filling my CPAP machine. I was putting the water in it. And she's like, when was the last time you cleaned it? And I'm like, huh? What do you mean cleaned it? She's like, well, when was the last time you cleaned out the hose? And I'm like, I'm supposed to clean the hose? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh. Well, I've had it like, I don't know, 6 months now. Something like that. I ain't never cleaned the hose. So that doesn't account for all of my respiratory issues. Doesn't account for the tumors that are in my lungs. Okay. It just doesn't. But some of the respiratory issues, I think we found the cause for. It does give you a whole new perspective. It did me. And I really don't think I'm the only one. And this is while he's medicated, if I'm correct. Yes. Yes, it is. That's so sad. My dad's Parkinson's will most likely turn into dementia too. He's only 71. I don't know how old my dad is. I want to say 70. I don't know. He was born in 54. Somebody can do the math. And was so active and still working. It makes a person feel worthless when they can no longer function. Yes, it does. I never thought Richard Allen did it. I did. I was convinced. But I was also convinced, even during the trial, that it was a practice trial. He was going to have another one because of all the mistakes. So, I mean, there's that, but I'm getting to the he didn't do it. I'm getting there slowly, but I'm getting there. That's why good chats are beneficial. All minds bringing all different facts to figure things out. Yeah. Filter needs change too. Yeah, I changed that. I just don't clean the hose because I didn't realize it. And they probably told me I was supposed to, and I just didn't pay attention. I know me. I'm celebrating my birthday on Wednesday. Well, happy birthday. So I may not be here for another live for a while. I will be driving to Oregon this week as well. We'll watch later and leave comments. Sounds good, Mariska. Hose needs hot soap and water cleaning the part of the water. Oh, I gotta clean that too? Oh, Lord. What do I use to clean it? Vinegar? Dawn? You got to tell me what I got to use to clean where the water goes. You can get a special little device just to clean your hose. Nah. I'll just throw water in it, shake it around a little bit, and lay it out to dry during the day. Yes, happy early birthday. Olive says they have a cleaning machine at the apnea shops. I don't know that I want to waste money on it, though. Cleaning the house is easy peasy. Yeah, that's easy. I don't want to clean the hose. Yeah. I don't care to clean my house. I'll clean the hose if I know I got to clean it. Just soap and water, nothing harsh. Okay, awesome. Now I know. You should stop here and have lunch, Mariska. I'm in Montana. You're using distilled water, right? Yes. Yes. All right, guys. Let me remove this. Let me add. Maybe I can find it. All right, guys. So I am going to get out of here. Everybody have a wonderful night. I know Shar is going live tomorrow, and I told her I'd be up there with her, but I think we're just going to stream from Shar's channel tonight. I don't think I'm going to stream it to mine. So meet me over there. I never asked to see if my insurance covers the cleaning machine. We'll ask though. Yeah, find out. Like if insurance covers it, shoot. Yeah, I'm all for that. My insurance will cover it. I don't care. But I don't want to pay out of pocket for it. I don't know what insurance you have. So just like shoot me a message. Like I said, my Facebook is linked on my page. So just shoot me a message if insurance covers it, and then I'll go through the trouble of asking my insurance. I use baby sterilizing fluid on mine. You know, like when you had babies in the cold water tank for the bottles. No. See, I was one of them mamas. I hand washed everything. I didn't have none of them fancy machines. Melissa, do a live with Shar so you can get more hours. There's a reason, Mariska. I'll leave it at that. There is a reason that I'm not going to stream it to me. Not tomorrow. Normally I would, but not tomorrow, and there is a reason for it. Yep, it's the easiest, but I'm not paying either, right? I'm on disability, right? I ain't paying that. It don't go far enough the way it is. Don't forget to hit that like button. All right, guys. I am going to remove that. Oops, I removed myself from stage. All right, guys. Have a good night.
No amount of time will make us stray. We'll keep searching through the darkest day for every soul that's lost or gone. We'll fight until the break of dawn. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found you. For all the lost, both the near and far, you're in our hearts. You're who we are. We won't rest until there is justice for all the lost, both near and far. You're in our hearts. You're who we are. We will continue to pray until you're home to stay.